Okay, here's another couple of good-looking corns. The Okatee like corns are actually a cross. I outcrossed the Okatees with a hypomelanistic that I found, and they gave me some real pretty babies. It's hard to see probably in this video, but they've got some really nice colors, and I had them separate as two females. I had them by themselves with no male, and I noticed that both of them have eggs. So I didn't want to breed them this young, but they without a male, they're developing eggs on their own. And so I figure if they're gonna go through the whole egg laying procedure, which I didn't want to do because they're a little bit small, even though they're old enough, they just haven't grown that much. I figured, what the heck, I'll put a blood red in there. This is my blood red male, and we'll see. As long as they're gonna lay eggs, maybe I can get some cool looking babies out of them. You know, I was gonna wait for them to get a little bit bigger and breed them next year. There's some twitching going on, so you know. In fact, I didn't put them in the hibernating room. I kept them in here, which was warmer, and tried to feed them all year round. So, but corn snakes are that way. Corn snakes, especially here in Florida, we don't get much of a winter, and it's not rare to have a snake breed, even though it hasn't really gone through a winter hibernation. It is possible. So I've seen it happen. And that even if you get a few dud eggs, you're good chance of getting a few good eggs. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, here I have a bubble gum rat snake. It's a pretty snake. They call it a bubble gum. It's actually they make this breed or hybrid, I think, from an albino black rat and some Everglades, hypo Everglades. It's kind of like a little Frankenstein kind of a snake. They just take a few different rat snakes, and somebody came up with this what they call bubble gum. And I had a pair. The male wasn't a very good eater, and he just slowly kept losing weight. I tried deworming him. I tried everything, and he finally just died. She's not a great eater. She's very nervous. So maybe it's a character trait from the inbreeding to get this animal. I think she's got some eggs in her. I had her with, actually I'm pretty sure I felt some eggs. So I had her with my hypomelanistic Everglades, since I don't have a male bubblegum. And hopefully the hypo Everglades was able to fertilize the eggs, and we'll see what happens, you know. Kind of a mystery. Some mystery babies. We'll see what they look like. Be interesting to find out. Here's a couple more corn snakes. They both look like they're about to go in the shed, so their colors are not going to show up quite as well. That one on top is a male. Was actually caught in this area by my father-in-law. It was a baby. He found it in a barbecue barbecue grill. He was gonna strike up the barbecue, and he found a little snake in it, and he brought it to me. It was a baby. I noticed it had some interesting colors, so I kept it. The pattern is also interesting. It has reduced saddles, and it might not show up very good on this video, but it's almost an amber color, a golden amber color. And that female right there, she's been a problematic snake for a while, but I notice she's producing eggs all on her own. So rather than to have her lay a bunch of dud eggs, I figured I'd throw this guy in there and see what happens. Got a lot of unexpected eggs this year from snakes that, quite frankly, weren't even with a male. They just started producing eggs or ovulating. And so I figure, what the heck, if they're going to go ahead and lay eggs, they might as well be good eggs, right? But this guy, I've got some hopes for this guy. I want to use him in some breeding projects with another very light colored female that I found in this same area. So this area where I live is it's got a good population of hypomelanistic and just some brightly colored corn snake. Okay, this guy is a Miami corn that I picked up at the Reptile Expo here in Tampa last year, and I hope the colors show up. He's pretty decent looking Miami corn. They look their best just after they shed, of course, but nonetheless still a good looking animal. He's been eating. He's got a good appetite, but then he has a problem. He spits up the fuzzies or pinkies. He moved up to fuzzies, but he spits up the fuzzies. Not always, but sometimes he'll spit up the fuzzies, and I suspect he may have some kind of intestinal worms or something. I've given him Panacur and Flagyl on a regular basis, on and off. It seems to correct the problem, and then after a while, if I stop the applications of the medicine, a few weeks later, he starts all over again. So don't know if he'll make it for a whole lot of years if he keeps going the way he's going. I hope to get at least one breeding out of him, because I have a real pretty female that I plan to breed him to. But we'll see what happens. Again, this is a male Miami corn. And as luck would have it, my female Miami corn is in shed, so you can't see her pretty colors. She's got some really nice clean white, almost a milk snake kind of effect. Very, very pretty snake. Oh, out of focus there. She's still small. The male was 1 year old when I bought him, and he was still on the small side. That should have gave me a clue. She was a fresh hatchling from last year, so she's moving up pretty nice. Both of them have good appetites. They're eating real good, and I hope to get her up to breeding size for next year, and we'll have some beautiful Miami corns. These are one of my favorite corn snakes.